Hello, I am Miriam, co-founder and COO of Keto Chow.
I'm Chris, also co-founder, president, and the technical guy behind Keto Chow. If you're brand new to Keto Chow, it's a nutritionally complete meal designed to make doing keto easy. We also have some electrolyte supplements that are amazing for everyday use and for keeping the dreaded keto flu away.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell icon for daily updates on all our Keto Chow happenings.
Not so daily, but yeah.
These live streams help us be accountable and stay on track.
Yep, so hit the little bell icon. Be sure to like the subscribe button.
My hat's not working out.
Your hat's not working out?
Yeah,
okay.
because it's shadowing my face.
Oh, I mean, you could take it off. Your hair looked okay today. Ooh, there you go. But now it's going to be hitting against the thing behind you. All right, looks like everything's working. Let's say hi to people really quick. Looks like Carrie's here, so is Charlene and Betsy. Stwong says hello all. Rosemary is here from Connecticut. Let's see. Betsy is here. Stwong's having chocolate mint creamy for dinner. Ooh, nice. People talking back and forth. J-Dog is here. Good evening, Shellings. Happy Tuesday night. Dennis is here as well. Yeah, it says Miriam was on Kim Howerton's live chat.
I was on there. Said hi. I was listening the last little while.
She was. Kim was talking about protein isolates versus concentrates, and I'm like, hey, I
know that.
I told her that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. She was actually listening. J-Dog is less than 1 hour without caffeine. There you go. Still people talking back and forth before the thing. Lynette is here. Hi, Lynette. So is Glenda, Shauna, and Rhiannon as well. Rhiannon says, I miss your faces. Lori says, hi, my friends. Nan is here. Your face too. Karen says, hi from Texas.
Hi.
He says, hey, yo, rejoice, for the king has arrived. You may all now bask in my greatness. I was worried, you know. Shauna says, Miriam, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Sherry's here. Carlos says, good evening, everyone. Exchange Student says, hello. Thanks for sponsoring the PhD Summit for online.
Yes. We're actually going to have Ken and Nisha on a live pretty soon. We just got to get a date.
Yep.
So we wanted to talk about that, too.
Yeah, and we had a call with them, and because I guess Miriam worked out with them that we were going to sponsor the virtual
Nisha
thing.
texted me, and I said, you betcha.
And so we were talking with Nisha, and then Ken showed up. And I'm like, so what exactly, what are we doing again? She's like, well, who did the streaming for the Salt Lake one? I'm like,
Me.
And she's like, oh, that was you? I'm like, yeah. But I guess they were going to use someone for the low carb cruise. And they're thinking about having that person do it. And so it might be that Keto Chow just pays for those people to do the stream, or it might be less desirable for me is that I show up with all my gear.
Regardless, we're sponsoring.
We're going to make it so that
to know all the details.
People will be able to watch the PhD Summit online for free.
And we're going to go and hang out.
Yes, indeed. Denise says, hey. Kel says it's 95 in Michigan. Ooh. Frozen raspberry cheesecake for dinner tonight.
That's perfect for 95.
You know what we had for dinner tonight? I guess apparently our daughter wanted chaffles. I just got the memo that we're having waffles for dinner, and Miriam was doing work stuff. I was actually
doing home stuff.
Oh, were you?
I was on the budget.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, she was doing something on the
computer.
Ha ha ha. Anyway.
Error.
So I just started making chaffles, but I made one batch of chaffles with snickerdoodle.
Okay.
So 6 eggs. Well, it was actually a double batch, but 6 eggs, 2 cups of shredded mozzarella, and 2 scoops of snickerdoodle keto chow, and in 4 waffle makers, just going back and forth.
Dash minis.
And then I did 2 more double batches with eggnog. And I whipped an entire quart of heavy cream.
For the 4 of us.
Well, there's a lot of leftovers, so Haley can have she can just go nuts with those waffles. Every once in a while, she gets a bee in her bonnet and wants waffles. So
Yep.
now there'll be a lot.
Yep. And they were delicious. And Haley stopped at the store on the way home because she wanted some fruit to go with them.
Yep.
So that worked
Danny's
out.
here. Visual Keto says, howdy from the steamy Iowa corridor.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Bob says, hello from steamy Chicagoland.
Man, it's steamy
Let's see.
everywhere.
Randy's here from Salem, Oregon. Apparently not steamy.
Randy.
Shantae is here. Carrie says,
Hi,
I'm questioning. I
Shantae.
think I had a
Hi,
s'mores
Closing
last time
Darkness.
for Keto Chow. Just wondering if there's any chocolate, since there's caffeine in chocolate with the natural flavors. So my recollection is that there is no chocolate in the s'mores. I experimented with adding chocolate, actual cocoa powder to it. And it overpowered the
marshmallow
flavor.
So we just went with a flavored s'more flavor.
Yeah, so if you actually do a Google search for
Look how cute
Keto
that is.
Chow caffeine, there is an FAQ. Does Keto Chow contain caffeine? And it has a breakdown of all of the flavors of Keto Chow that do contain caffeine. So mocha is the only flavor with added caffeine. Chocolate and chocolate peanut butter have 4 grams of cocoa powder, which is approximately 9.2 milligrams of caffeine. Chocolate mint, 3.45 milligrams. Irish cream has 2.5 milligrams, and caramel macchiato has 0.93. And to the best of the knowledge that I have, no other flavors of Keto Chow have caffeine at all. So there you go.
Right.
My nose just got itchy. Blah,
Blah, blah.
blah, blah, blah.
The Irish cream and the caramel macchiato, you said that, right?
Yes,
When I wasn't listening.
that's okay. John says, I have enough caffeine running through my system. I'll probably keep going for a week after I'm unalived. Deborah says, heading to bed. Miss you guys. God bless you.
Night, Deborah.
God bless us, everyone.
Hi.
Lori says, can you explain the difference between your electrolytes and the mineral drops?
Yes, we can.
Yep. So
the minerals are a good base. It doesn't have all the sodium you need, but typically you're going to be eating food and you'll have food salt with your food, hopefully. And then you'll be able to get the rest of the sodium you need with that.
Yep.
What
If
are
you click on
gonna say?
this, what's best for my needs,
Right?
there's a little questionnaire that kind of walks you through it. Or if you go to the daily minerals
Boop.
and you scroll,
And you know what you're looking for because Chris showed you.
there is a
Take
blog
a look
post.
at this blog post.
I'll put it into the chat. This blog post goes into excessive
It has a lot of
detail
words.
about what electrolytes are important on a ketogenic diet, why they're important on a ketogenic diet, what they do for you, how the daily minerals fit into that, and how the other Keto Chow electrolytes fit into that. So I would recommend reading that very exhaustive, an emphasis on the exhaustive post, because that's going to give you all the information.
All the words.
Looks like Debbie's here from Half Moon Bay.
Hi, Debbie.
Cynthia is here from Florida as well. Tony says,
Cynthia.
does anyone get a funny coating on teeth when taking the mineral drops?
Oh,
I have never experienced that before.
I have not noticed that, but that's okay.
Yep. Rick Wind is here, so is Two Crazy Ketos. I actually saw you guys this time.
Hi.
Debbie says, Miriam, you look so cute.
Thank you.
Let's see. People talking back and forth. JX says only 354 days to the low carb cruise. We had to decide if we're going and which people we're taking, because we have to figure out our people. Two Crazy Ketos likes the backwards hat.
Thanks.
I'm thinking that must be Rachel. Anyway, Exposing Darkness. I can do Two Crazy Ketos. I finished watching the Two Crazy Ketos a chicken nugget recipe today,
Nice.
and I didn't know that we were making the waffles for dinner, which actually worked out pretty well because I wasn't terribly hungry. We had Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner tonight.
You
For
mean
lunch. Yeah, actually, it was for breakfast lunch.
I could have gone without dinner, actually.
I probably could have too. But I really want to make the Two Crazy Ketos chicken nugget recipe now.
Did you know we actually are going to make a chicken recipe video next week?
Oh, the fried chicken recipe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Hungry He says, oh, wow. Thanks, Keto Chow. Let's see. Betsy says, thank you, Chris and Miriam, for all you do for us.
Thank you.
Exchange Student says, got a touch of headache today that the mag drops aren't touching yet. Bummer.
Try some salt. Maybe you're getting the wrong one.
Pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
Shauna says, less lives and more funny graphics. Go, Chris. Well, our video guy...
actually...
made a bunch of them up for me.
I wanted to share that one.
Yep.
But it doesn't look like I can see it very tiny.
Yeah, and Carrie, I already answered your question about the natural flavor in the s'mores. It does not have caffeine in it.
Yep.
Let's see.
Debbie has internet. Yay!
He says we're planning on making Philly cheesesteaks in the Stuffler one. Oh, that would be good.
That sounds amazing.
J-Dog says I'm out of eggs. Have to get some more along with meats and heavy whipping cream. Kroger will have brisket on sale tomorrow. So this weekend I make smoke it like a brisket. Our chickens, one of them is laying undeveloped eggs without a properly developed shell.
It just happened one time.
Yeah, so we need to get them.
So we need to get them happy there.
Yes, indeed.
Sad.
That's kind of bad. Lynn says my room for the cruise is booked.
Yes.
Lori says, Chris, have fun at girls' camp. Yes, tomorrow. Wednesday. Yes, tomorrow afternoon.
You're almost out of frame.
That means I have to pack tonight.
Yes, because you're leaving
tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to go to girls' camp.
Trying to figure out the shit.
Michelle says hello from Ohio. Patty is here from Albany, Oregon. Lots of people talking to each other.
Hey, Rick.
Drake says, I'm not a huge fan of the s'more, so adding chocolate to mute it sounds a bit delish.
Yeah, it does.
Shauna says, I now have to add my own espresso powder to my caramel macchiato. No, we haven't changed that yet.
Yep, we haven't changed it.
I actually punted it over to Two Crazy Ketos to work on the formulation. Randy says, I finally got to try peanut butter and also grape. Nice. Oh, yeah. Keto Life Granny is here. He says, please do not pick your nose on camera. Let's see. Dorothy says, late but actually finally remembered you're here tonight. And Denise is here as well. Denise has a question about Pina Colada. Pina Colada does not have coconut.
It doesn't.
In it. Someone may have said that they were having an allergic reaction to coconut in the Pina Colada, but the Pina Colada does not have coconut in it.
We have
checked
have its natural flavors, and
the natural flavors
is not one of them.
Yep. So whatever they're having a reaction to has nothing to do with coconut.
And that's sad.
So
it's sad if they're having a reaction.
Let's see. He says, but remember, you can pick your nose and you can pick your friends.
Or you
cannot wipe your friends on the couch. That's right.
Oh.
We don't have a couch. We have a sofa, though.
Yeah, we have a sofa.
Exposing Darkness says, having Keto Chow with butter in my coffee every day. This means I can forego heavy whipping cream and sweetener. There you go. Nice. Dorothy says, I'm going to have root beer ice cream tonight.
Yeah.
With diet root beer. Hopefully it will be as good as I'm thinking it may be. Nice. Yeah, Two Crazy Ketos is being way too nice. That's got to be Rachel.
I love you, Rachel.
And Joe's like, hey, Radical Geek is here. Let's see. And if I missed you guys, I'm sorry. Karen says, I thought the mineral drops were the electrolytes drops plus minerals. No, it's a completely different formulation. The daily minerals are everything Dr. Berry wanted in a complete mineral supplement. Had nothing to do with the formulation.
Except for the sodium,
from the other
because
stuff.
it doesn't have all the sodium you need.
In order to have the amount of sodium he originally wanted, you would have had to have 2 tablespoons per serving.
And we didn't want the serving to be that big, so we figured you get salt everywhere else because it's easy to get.
Its main component is really a lot of potassium, but it also has a bunch of other minerals. I think Dr. Berry was tired of taking selenium and iodine and chromium and all that other stuff. Yep. So he just wanted
boron.
He just wanted a supplement that had all of that stuff. It's a good base.
All your base.
Think of it as those are the sort of nutrients that our ancestors would have been getting before industrial agriculture came in on the scene and started depleting the soils. So,
Right.
Kim says, hi all. Linda's here from Jackson, Tennessee.
Jackson. Hi, Linda.
Rick says, they're talking about that. Patty says, I have to do the 2KK chicken nuggets. I'm excited. Rennie says, Chris, I also finished watching 2KK's video on chicken nuggets as well. Well, it took me like 3 days to watch it.
Yeah, it's still on my watch later. I got to get on the treadmill.
Lisa says, I made the nuggets last week for my teen boys. We love them. I forgot to use the parm in the first batch, and they were just fine.
But you know what we made last night? So we had the Keto Chow beef ramen noodles.
Okay.
Which has the beef
Using the
soup.
recipe that's on our site.
Yep. And then we had fish cakes.
Yep.
And we just looked up a keto fish cake recipe, and it was actually really similar to Joe's and even the chicken recipe that we're going to use this next week. It was just Parmesan cheese and pork rinds, and it actually had celery salt. What was the other seasoning? It was one other seasoning. Of course, I can't remember 4 ingredients, for crying out loud. Anyway, it was really good.
Did it have eggs?
Well, it had egg wash.
Oh, okay.
And it had mayo in it. So it wasn't tuna. It was salmon, and that wasn't even what it called for. It called for whitefish, but I got salmon because I didn't want to have to put it in the blender or the food processor. I was that lazy.
Okay.
So I got canned salmon, mayonnaise, the celery salt, the one other seasoning I can't remember, and then you mashed them together, put them in the egg wash, put them in the pork rinds and the Parmesan cheese.
And then just stuck it in the oven?
And then stuck it in the oven and baked it. Oh, you know what it was? It was Parmesan cheese. I accidentally put the Parmesan cheese that was supposed to be in the breading into the fish. So it was double Parmesan cheese. But it was delicious anyway, so it was perfect.
Well, Mimi is here.
Mimi, hi!
Because as you said, there was no real coconut in the Pina Colada, but I sure reacted to it.
Oh, no.
There is not real coconut in the Pina Colada.
Yeah, there's not.
Yep. Patty says, there are always shenanigans at girls' camp. Actually.
Actually.
In the information I was given as far as being a volunteer father who is coming up there, they're like, number one, this is a prank-free camp. That includes the girls, that includes the leaders, and that especially includes you men.
The men.
And the men cannot be anywhere near the girls unless there are 2 women leaders there. And the place where we're sleeping is completely far away.
Like, you're going to sleep over
and
there.
And we literally don't do anything with them except like the nightly devotional.
Yeah.
Like, we're there to
call you if we need you.
We're there to be warm bodies to carry someone if they get hurt.
Yeah, right.
Like,
They'll make you chop wood for sure. It's always chopping wood for you.
JDX says, any thoughts on how to avoid night leg cramps while sleeping? Got one last night and my calves are still aching. I drank 2 16-ounce bottles of water, electrolytes. Maybe I need another element. I think it's magnesium more than anything else as far as cramping goes.
Because if I drank 2 16-ounce bottle of water and electrolytes, I'd pee all night long.
That is true. Get that catheter installed. Exposing Darkness says, I bought the base powder and haven't experimented with it yet.
Oh, you should play with it.
Yep. And Dorothy says, yeah, don't pick your friend's nose. That's right. T Crazy Kyo says, I love you, Miriam. That better not be Joe. He says, I had graham cracker flavor drops to the s'mores.
Nice.
He says, okay, wait, so you can wipe your friends on the sofa? Yes, the sofa. You can indeed. Let's see. JDox says, buffer. I don't have any dropped frames at all right now.
Nice.
Ashley says, thank you for the mug cake recipes. I just made the sticky bun mug cake. The 13 couldn't stop eating it. It was supposed to be all mine.
Oh my goodness. I have to make another one.
That's the worst. Let's see. Living for Life is here. Randy reminds us all that it's all about the base. J-Dog says, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, that like button.
I have something.
Well, hold on. I'm almost caught up.
Yeah, right.
Crazy Kyo says, how fun. Now I want fish cakes. The problem is if we're too far behind on the comments, we'll get hit with a
I know, but you never noticed that before till recently.
Exchange Sin says, I have the lamb burgers and sauteed onions. Reminds me of liver and onions. Oh.
Ooh.
Let's see. And Laura says, yeah, so all those are in the mineral drops in. Well, all of the stuff that's in the daily minerals
yes.
is in the Keto Chow shakes, if that's what you're asking.
Yes.
On that page where it, here, I'll just post it again. Boop. On that page where it talks about the daily minerals and all that, it does say if you are using Keto Chow 3 times a day, which most people are not, nor do we recommend that, although you can if you want to, you would not need the daily minerals.
Yepers.
Dennis says Miriam likes saying things such as boron. Yeah, right.
Boron.
Carrie has some sardines and pink salmon and mackerel from fish. That's
You
awesome.
could make that into fish cakes. I was super
indeed.
happy that we didn't have to fry it. I know lots of people love frying stuff, but with as many people as I make food for, I just don't want to do that. It takes too long.
Too Crazy Kiss is the only thing that could possibly make me enjoy fish is if it's mixed with lots of cheese.
Yeah.
Randy wants to know, do I have a date
That's
when the
a Joe thing to
flavors...
say.
Yeah, when the flavors Steve, Serious Keto, will be out of production. So, Steve, I told him I had requested the
Randy.
pricing. I didn't tell him it was actually in production.
Steve.
It has not entered production yet.
Stop talking.
So, people are like, are you going to tell Steve not to talk about it? I'm like, no, Steve's going to learn for himself.
He knows. He knows.
Because, and this is something
takes a
that
long
Too
time.
Crazy Ketos, when they started work on the caramel macchiato, and I think it was like 7 months later, we finally had it like ready to go. And there's a lot of stuff that we, Keto Chow, have no control over. So no, we have no date as to when it will even enter production.
It's sad.
So, nope. Which is why we don't talk about stuff until we have it in our hot little hands.
About brew. No.
No. Phyllis
We
says,
don't
so if you have
talk
mineral
about
drops, you don't need the electrolyte drops. No, they are for different applications. The daily minerals are, again, a base that you would take every day to help you get more potassium and selenium and iodine, all the stuff that Dr. Barry recommends that you take as far as supplementing go. The electrolyte drops are if you are low on electrolytes, specifically sodium, potassium, and a little bit of magnesium. So it's more of a spot treatment.
Yes. The thing is, it's hard to tell because even if you got your blood checked, you'd have to be very deficient to even show it because...
Oh, yeah, with your blood?
What happens is your body knows how to manage...
Yeah, it tightly regulates
your
serum
levels at the right level by pulling it out of your muscles and your bones.
And your bones.
And so that's why people tend to get osteoporosis and osteopenia first because they pull all of those
if your blood
out of your bones.
If your blood magnesium it shows low on a blood test,
then you're really screwed.
That means that your body has been pulling it out of your bones
and it's
for
been
some
for
time.
a long time. Yeah. So, and the thing is, it's so frustrating because you want to know how much to take, and you just got to play with it and see what feels good for you. So what I recommend is eat foods that you already know how you do with those foods, and then kind of try one product for a little while and then see how that goes. Try another product for a little while.
Yeah.
I only recommend changing one variable at a time.
Yep.
Because otherwise you could be like, oh, it was the sodium. Oh, it was the magnesium. Oh, I don't really know. It was just,
Wellman says, I'm planning on making the ginger peach cheesecake using pork rind crumbs instead of almond flour. Good idea.
Good.
Because
That's
I don't do that
recipe.
good with nuts. Also want to try Boca Sweet as a sweetener. Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Exchange Student says they made cookies and cream and s'mores and didn't keep track of which was which. I think I like s'mores marshmallow flavor, so I'll have to make more.
Do it.
Oh, and Laura says, that was my question. Perfect. Roz says, Miriam, you look so cute with your backwards cap.
Thank you. I don't think I've worn a backwards cap for more than 5 minutes before.
And Carrie says, I just ate the fish like it was. Yeah, that works too.
Delicious.
Melissa says, I was wondering what to make for dinner tomorrow. Fish cakes it is. Let's see. Too Crazy Keto says, can I come to your house, Melissa? Because fish cake sounds awesome.
Yes, I want to go too. I can't tell you. And you know what? You're supposed to make them probably like this big. I made them like this big, and they were perfect because I had like 3 of them. Then I felt like I was getting more. If I would have had 2 bigger ones, I would have.
I couldn't figure out why you told Max to give me more.
Because it had protein in it, and the ramen was just broth.
Okay.
And you need more protein.
Yeah, well,
you need more protein.
there was those weird sandwich things in the fridge
Did you
too.
not like them?
No, I got like 5 of them, and the kids were mad that they only got 2.
They weren't mad.
Ruth only got 2, and Sam
Guess
only
what?
got 2.
Big deal. They don't
Anyway.
need as much protein as you do.
Wellman says, I just got my subscription. I am flush with Keto Chow goodness. Nice. Let's see. Joe Ray is here. Says good evening.
Hi, Jerry.
Let's see. Alyssa says today is my 17-year-old's birthday. His name is Jerry. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jerry. Happy birthday to you. Yay. Let's see. Lots of people saying happy birthday. Debbie says I made the electrolyte tablets each morning. I take the electrolyte tablets each morning, especially in hot weather.
Oh, yes.
It definitely helps.
You know, it's funny. I have been having cramps in the bottom of my foot for a couple of weeks now, but I've also been wearing these compression socks. Okay. Not super often, but a little bit, and they squeeze my foot differently than I'm used to being squeezed. And it kind of makes it hurt in the same place that I'm getting these cramps. So I figured it was because of the socks I was getting the cramps. And then last night when I was going to bed, I took my regular magnesium that I always do, and I was taking my pills, and I realized I have not taken electrolyte pills in like 2 weeks.
Oh.
And I've been taking them every night or every other night for like a couple of months now. Just the salt, just one electrolyte pill. And I'm like, that might be why. It might not be the socks that are being weird. And today I have not had any problems, and I'm so happy.
Okay.
So.
Speaking of the electrolyte tablets.
Yes. Announcement.
If you go and shop to the electrolyte drops.
Wow.
I'm not sure why it's under Try Electrolytes. I think it needs to be under its own.
Probably because it needs its own home.
Mm-hmm. But if you come in here.
Okay.
So you've either got tablets
it's like a secret menu.
in a bottle, or we now have them in individual sachets. Unfortunately, there's not a picture that shows.
Dang it.
Yeah, this
a little 2-packet. Do we have one here?
We don't have any here, but it's a little packet that has 2 of the tablets individually wrapped, ready to go.
Yes.
So that is now available right now. Joe had been asking when that was finally going to be available.
Can you put a link for it in there since you can't find it in a weird place?
Yes.
So if you go to Keto Chow Electrolytes, into the electrolyte section, then you have to go to the scroll down menu. So they'll sell really well all hidden like that. So if you could spread the word, that'd be cool.
Anyway, Denise says, my daughter Stephanie's 31st birthday is tomorrow.
Yay!
Wellman says they take my
Happy
magnesium
birthday,
right before bed to
Stephanie.
keep my foot cramps away.
And that really works for me. That's what I was saying. Like sometimes it's salt, sometimes it's magnesium, sometimes it's potassium. So you just kind of have to pay attention to what you're eating and what you've had and what you need. You just have to learn.
Debbie says, my son accused me of bringing the Texas heat to Wisconsin. Good job there, Debbie. Let's see. And Debbie says, awesome. Lots of people saying happy birthday to Stephanie. So we had a good question come in. I think this actually might have been related to some of the stuff that Dr. Barry was talking about with oxalates.
Oh, yes.
So oxalates are the primary component of kidney stones. If you have kidney stones, they're pretty much, some people's aren't made out of oxalates.
Yeah.
But, someone wanted to know, does Keto Chow have high oxalates?
Well, that's a great question. Oxalates are primarily in plants. And since
Keto
Chow is not plant-based or plant-only,
we have very little
few
plant-sourced ingredients.
Yeah, so the ingredients would be the ones we talked about already earlier. Would be cocoa powder and cinnamon?
Yeah, a couple of the spices.
And those typically wouldn't have very high oxalates. I do know that chocolate does have oxalates in it.
And so if you're sensitive to oxalates, probably don't get any of the chocolate flavors. Maybe, I'm not sure about oxalate content in peanut butter. And probably the Snickerdoodle. But most of the other flavors would be oxalate-free.
Well, and the thing is, they're not going to be high in oxalates.
Yes.
I mean, oxalates are high in a salad.
Spinach and things like that.
Spinach specifically has a lot of oxalates.
Yeah, well, the oxalates are a bit of chemical warfare that the plants are using to try to keep you from eating them.
Yeah.
Don't eat me. Well, because they don't have
I'm gonna
horns or
poison you.
fangs or venom, so they have to resort to chemical warfare. So there you go. Yeah, it's something that we've never bothered to have tested because it just doesn't really have them. Because we primarily source all of our ingredients from animals whenever we can.
Whenever we can.
So, let's see. Jory says, love the earrings, Miriam. Shauna says, I love you, Miriam, helping us find the things.
Yay!
Too Crazy Keto says, I love the tablets in the package. Now we can use them. Let's see. Dennis says, Miriam, has Annette Bosworth persuaded you of her idea of 5 consecutive days of a magnesium float?
You know, I would love that. And I know that there are places you can go to get a float. I would just have to, actually do that thing.
That's like setting up a kiddie pool in the backyard and keeping the chickens away from
it's like going to a spa and having a bath every day.
Okay.
That would not be hard. I would be super happy about that.
That must have been added because I looked earlier today. Electrolyte pills. Yep. Yeah, it was
just added.
Yep. Exchange students like the idea of magnesium floats. Well, Mrs. Keto Chow is low oxalate. Love it. Looks like Karen is here.
Hello, Karen.
Well, Mrs. I used to drink spinach smoothie.
Somebody said, hi, Karen, happy birthday. Does that mean it's Karen's birthday
to your
today?
daughter, Stephanie, tomorrow.
No. Karen, happy birthday. Karen, dear, is it your birthday?
Oh, is it Karen's birthday?
That's what Lynette said.
Where did she say that?
Lynette said it.
I didn't see that. Karen, let us know if it's actually your birthday. Yeah, 2 grams of keto spinach is super high in oxalates. Also one of the most heavily sprayed crops.
Yeah, so I had kidney stones, and I had to get them pulverized. And the urologist told me chocolate and spinach.
Yep.
That's what this kidney stone is made of.
Yep.
Oxalates.
Don't get them. Okay, Victoria has a good question. Am I able to incorporate Keto Chow shakes into PSMF? Does it matter what fast source I use as long as I don't go above 10 grams for vitamin absorption?
So, just so you know, I'm just saying this out loud. Maria Emmerich says PSMF is not dairy.
Yes,
right?
she
Dairy
recommends
free.
not using dairy. Now, if you're going off of if you're in less of a, the word is escaping me. If you're going for more of a pragmatic approach to PSMF, where you're looking at grams of protein and fat and carbohydrates, you totally can.
Yep.
Dang it, that's going to bug me.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Where you're less, it's not theological. You're looking at PSMF as a practical and a pragmatic approach rather than like the essence and spirit of it. The word is escaping me.
It's fine. You'll think of it tomorrow.
I probably will. My little
Where's
brother.
Becca? Usually she can.
My little brother was on a date once, and in the middle of something else, he yells out, "Crenellations!" And the girl was like,
What?
"What?" He's like, the things on the top of walls. They're called crenellations, and I couldn't remember that word. Linda says, one of my Keto Chow orders included a package like you described with 2 electrolyte pills in it. Yes, we did send them out. I didn't order them. I thought 2 pills are not really enough to fill the bill of benefits. So I threw it away.
Oh, no.
Why'd you throw it away? That was a sample for you to try.
We wanted to throw it in for anyone to try. That's what it was for.
Lynette says, yes, it's Karen's birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Karen. Happy birthday to you. I don't know. We should have done the happy birthday like the funeral dirge. The happy birthday. Karen says, thank you, everyone. Carrie says, funny, since I used to eat the good organic bitter dark chocolate, since I keep caffeine out of me, I don't like chocolate anymore. Oh, there you go. Pierce. It's not theoretical either.
What is it?
It's not theoretical. It's
tomorrow.
Gonna bug me.
Don't worry about it.
Jason, this is a big bath with so much magnesium that you float.
Right?
It was really weird when we went to the ocean and we were floating no matter what. Anyway.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yes.
It was awesome. When we were in the ocean and we were snorkeling, because you didn't have to do anything at all. You just magically floated. You didn't even have to use your muscles. Yep.
And that term, I always use it when you're talking about paleo, because paleo is more of it's not
Paleolithic.
Well, it's more of a theory. You're talking about less of a. It's not science-based. It's more of what the cavemen would have had, and I still am not getting that word. Supposing Narton says, speaking of birthdays, I used my Keto Chow discount for my birthday. Nice. Joe Ray says, or do the Marilyn Monroe happy birthday. No, not doing that. Speaking of coconut oil.
Okay.
Somebody wanted to know, how do you use coconut oil with Keto Chow?
Well, there's 2 different coconut oils, right? There's the one that's shelf stable, which has been changed.
You've got the filtered and you've got the unfiltered. The filtered has doesn't taste so much like coconut. It tastes more like
a avocado oil or something like that. It doesn't have a strong taste. Whereas the room temperature coconut oil that we are used to seeing, that will harden in.
Well, both of them will harden it in Utah room temperature or air conditioning room temperature.
There's one in the bathroom that's not hard.
That's because that is a liquid one where they took out some of the C12.
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
That's the coconut oil that doesn't harden.
Okay.
Right? But anyway, so the one that does harden, you melt it just like you would with butter. And that's what I would use.
You melt it you usually melt it in the microwave in like a glass container. You use hot water, you mix it up. It's best if you use a blender of some sort. So, Joe Ray says, oh, then the Stevie Wonder happy birthday.
Yeah. How does that one go?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I just called to say happy birthday.
I love you.
Somebody wanted to know if we're going to sell the newer recipe cards. Because if you go on our site to the other stuff, we do have recipe cards for sale, but it only goes up to February 2022.
You know what? They should be on there. We just haven't been putting them on there.
It's true.
So someday they'll be there. We just
we just need to
get to it.
we need to get our web guy on that and get that going.
No big deal. We'll get there.
Okay, so here's a weird one for you. Is it normal to have light in color stool when using Keto Chow?
That's funny because I don't think I've ever paid attention to that.
All right, poop talk time.
Poop talk. Wait, where's our poop talk?
I do not have a poop talk time. I've got a drone talk.
No, that's
We'll use that instead.
That's
Not
poop.
this guy.
That's poop.
What's up? When I did the 100 days of Keto Chow, one thing that I did notice that I thought was kind of weird was after about 3 weeks of doing only Keto Chow for all my meals, the volume of my bowel movements, the frequency didn't change, but the volume went down significantly. Like really.
Okay.
Because I was absorbing almost everything.
Yep.
The fiber that's in Keto Chow, the acacia gum, was getting...
Not very much.
Well, my gut bacteria was turning it into short chain fats. And so there wasn't a lot of stuff left over. And the stuff that was there was extremely light in color. So...
That's funny. I just have never paid that much attention.
Well, it was notable when I was doing my 100 days of Keto Chow. So, anyway.
I haven't noticed the color of poop since I used to eat like Frosted Flakes or something.
Okay.
Like not Frosted Flakes, the colored cereals.
Oh, like Fruit Loops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. So, end poop talk. Okay. Somebody wanted to know, is Keto Chow diabetic friendly?
I think so. I know we have our girlfriend that lives by us. That's Lindsay. That's type 1, and she uses Keto Chow all the time. And she says that she does have to use insulin, but it's a very slow.
It's because of the protein.
And that she likes it because she can not have to worry about it being fast. So.
Yep. I guess the critical thing with any food as to know whether it would be suitable for someone with diabetes would be how much carbohydrates are there in there. And despite the recommendation from some prominent diabetes associations in America, you don't need 300 grams of carbohydrates a day in order to keep your energy up as a diabetic. In fact, if you restrict it, you would use less insulin.
So much better.
So, is Keto Chow diabetic friendly? I would, that would be a qualified, I would consult your doctor and show them the nutrition. But good luck finding a doctor that knows anything about a ketogenic diet with diabetes anyway.
Some doctors know
Yeah.
about it.
To Crazy Kid says, thank you. Now when Rachel says, knock off the TMI talk, I could say, but Chris did it.
Chris did it.
Shauna says, I use Dr. Bronner's coconut oil. I do 1 tablespoon, then add a little warm water.
Perfect.
And let it melt. Add a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream and chow. Every day for lunch the past month, and it's delicious.
It's so good. And you know, coconut oil is really good for your brain.
Yeah. Well, because the C8, which is 8 carbons, and the C10 turn into ketones. They're medium chain triglycerides. Strangely enough, there are a lot of medium and short chain triglycerides in butter as well. He says 300 grams. Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know if that's still the recommendation by the ADA.
100 grams or something.
No, it was 300 grams.
But it does say something about a ketogenic diet would be good.
Yeah,
somehow,
it's now
in, like,
accepted
the fine
as a
print.
possible
Helpful thing.
thing for someone on diabetes.
Possible.
Okay,
Possibly.
so here's a really good question from a guy named Nate. Nate said, I've been keeping my net carbs under 10 for the past week. Usually I stay under 20 net carbs, but my keto meter, I'm assuming blood ketone meter, says that I'm only 0.3 for ketones. I drink 2 Keto Chows and a protein, and I'm assuming eat a high protein meal along with keto veggie for dinner. Shouldn't I be in ketosis?
That's a lot of words.
Okay, so under 10 grams.
10 net carbs.
His concern is that he only
has
has 0.3 for ketones.
Okay, well, I would ask a few other questions, right? How long have you been keto?
Yeah.
How metabolically flexible are you? That's not something you can get an answer really easy to, but if I could just look at them, see how like athletic or not they are, and how young they are would probably make a difference too. But if they're 0.3, they're on the meter, which means they're in ketosis, and the meter is measuring excess. Well, no, the urine strips are measuring excess.
Yeah.
And the ketones in your blood
are present. They haven't been used yet.
And you're going to be using your ketones more regularly. Joe and I were at Omaha, 2020? Yes, 2020 in January.
Okay.
And we were both talking to him, and we were both noting that we had lower ketones on the meter, and he just said, "Oh, you're just better utilizing the ketones that you have."
Right?
Dr. Berry told Joe and I both the same thing, and it totally makes sense because we've been in ketosis for such a long time. Like our body knows what to do with this fuel. We've been giving it for a long time, so it makes sense.
So the question: shouldn't I be in ketosis? You are in ketosis.
You are in ketosis.
If a blood meter is measuring ketones.
Period.
That's literally the end of the discussion. But we can go a bit further. Is there a reason that you need higher ketones? If you are treating a neurological condition,
then you might. Epilepsy.
Or traumatic brain injury.
Alzheimer's.
There's a lot of things. Having higher ketones in those cases could be beneficial.
Yep.
If your goal is weight loss, or rather fat loss on the other hand, having higher ketones is not indicative of better success or better adherence to a ketogenic diet. It just means that the way that you're eating allows you to produce ketones, which means that you are on a ketogenic generating. Let's see how these words work. You're on a ketogenic diet. You have ketones that are being burned. Therefore, you are on ketosis, like lipolysis.
Lipolysis.
Yeah, which is the burning of lipids. So, and it's not really necessary to have super high ketones, and That's a bit of a myth that some people have, that they need high numbers. Way back in the day, I think it's like The Art and Science of Ketogenic something or other by Finney and Volek.
Okay.
They recommended a range of I think it was 1.5 to like 3.
But weren't they working with athletes?
They were working with athletes, and
Yeah.
they've actually done a lot more research. And for people who are trying to, do better with a ketogenic diet, having high ketones is not something that is really necessary. And like you were talking about as well, the blood ketones, that's stuff that hasn't been burned yet.
Yes.
Okay, as you progress in your keto journey, especially if you've been doing it for a while, you make less ketones, fewer ketones, and your body actually burns more fat directly without the need of ketones. And those ketones are held kind of like in reserve for tissues that do better with ketones, like your brain and things like that. And so your muscles, everything like that, it'll just burn fat. Great, just do fat. You don't have to burn ketones because you can burn fat now. And then ketones are kept for just short bursts of energy or for your brain and things like that. Now, you talked a bit about the urinalysis strips. Like you said, that test, there was too much ketones. There were too many. Your ketone levels were too high for what your body could metabolize. And so your body excreted excess.
Yep.
If you use a breath acetone ketone meter, that actually comes a lot closer to measuring your body burned ketones or fat, because acetone is produced when you metabolize both of those. Whereas the blood is, your body has produced this much that hasn't been used yet.
Yep, which is still flowing around your body.
All three of them are interesting.
Measurements.
They are interesting.
Yeah.
And they do indicate that whatever it is you're doing is supportive of ketogenesis, because ketones have been generated. They're there, but they don't indicate anything besides that.
Yeah, and then something else to think about in relation to this is the oxidative priority of what's going in your body is always going to be used first before what's already in your body. The reason why our body stores fat is to keep us safe.
Yeah.
Right? Our bodies are made to store these things for energy for later when there's a famine. That's why we store fat.
And the only thing that you can store is literally fat.
And so the first thing you'll burn is alcohol, because it's a poison.
Then
right?
ketones,
then
which
exogenous
can be
ketones.
poisonous in high levels.
And then
Glucose, which is a poison.
And then
Protein, which is awesome.
And then fat.
And then fat is last.
So absolutely everything you eat, you're going to burn or store before you burn anything in here. That's why we kind of have to manipulate what we're doing to make our bodies think, I got to burn what I already got.
And that's why, generally speaking, it's really not necessary to take exogenous ketones unless there's a specific application that you're trying to treat.
Yep, which we said lots of times before. One of our daughters has depression. It's pretty bad, and she does take exogenous ketones.
Yep.
Probably a couple times a week.
Yep.
And it helps her.
So anyway, but I guess back to the original question. If you are staying under 20 net carbs or 10 net carbs, I would actually first look into total carbs and see if you're exceeding, like, say, 50 total carbs.
Yeah, that's true, because you could be eating like a couple of bars that have like 20 or 30 fiber, and then that is probably throwing you off too. So that could be another thing. Yep.
All right. So, Too Crazy Keto says, I think Chris needs to come to Florida for his birthday so we can put my drone in a tree.
Okay. It's this next week.
It is. Exchange says, Coconut Man sounds wonderful. I probably shouldn't try it.
Shouldn't try. Oh,
J-Dog
coconut
says
manna.
ketosis when your sister taped a keto or big toe, right?
Ketosis.
Let's see. Tanya says, I know. No more poop talk, but it's better to have floating or sinking poop. That just means that there's air or too much fiber in there. It really shouldn't be floating.
I don't think that we should listen to Nurse Cindy's thing again and see if she said something about floating or sinking.
She did talk about that.
Oh, what did she say? It should
She said
sink?
it shouldn't be floating.
It should sink.
Carrie says if your numbers are high, then they could be in the clouds. Oh, maybe. Pam says thanks for the ketone discussion.
Pam.
Somebody was telling me I was wrong the other day on Facebook when I was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Someone's wrong on the internet.
Yep. Well, XKCD duty calls.
Hey, here's the nerd talk. Where's the nerd button?
It won't show up because I'm already... Are you coming to bed? I can't. This is important. What? Someone is wrong on the internet. And then the mouse over says,
No.
What do you want me to do? Leave? Then they'll keep being wrong.
They will be wrong.
Facebook groups. Now, I think that there are a couple of exceptions to this. The Keto Village, Dr. Barry's Keto group, Facebook group.
You mean for police, or what are you saying?
As far as Keto Police and as far as just wacky stuff being promulgated.
There's probably a lot of, there's really a lot of groups.
But Facebook group, keto groups, I'm not saying all of them are bad, but there are a lot of them that are they just have really weird
it's
information.
Just hard.
It's a lot of the information is based on, like you'll see people talking about using ratios, percentages for macronutrients.
But that's how we started.
Well, that's the original information from the ketogenic diet for treatment of childhood epilepsy way back in the day. So, but if you're doing a ketogenic diet for any other reason, you wouldn't use ratios or percentages. You would just use grams. So, Hungry He says nerd. Yeah, here you go. There's the
Actually,
Gen says ketogenesis is better than keto exodus. Just saying. 2 Crazy Keto says breath meters are actually the most accurate to see if you're currently burning fat, but they are very hard to use correctly, so most people don't get accurate readings. Yeah, we've had
so many different.
I actually had a what was it called? It was like the like industrial scale one that had bottles of acetone with a high and a low.
Why can't I remember
that you would level? It was the level breath ketone meter, and you would it was this giant box, and you had to calibrate it every like 4 days using these big things that had specific amounts of pp parts per million of acetone, but it was very accurate. But in order to get accurate results,
you had to calibrate.
You had to breathe out almost all the way
for like,
and then you had to empty the little last bit of your lungs.
Yeah, to get the bottom out.
And that would be the right amount.
Yeah.
It was very difficult to do right.
That's crazy.
Dennis says, Chris, you have punch drunk viewers. Right?
Right.
To Crazy Keto says there's a sixth step in oxidative priority. Protein for fuel, but that only happens in the absence of carbs, dietary fat, and body fat. So in other words, never.
And your body does it all by itself. You don't have to tell it to do that.
Kat wants to know what brand of exogenous ketones does Kate use?
Oh, she uses Perfect Keto.
Yes, she does. Which, whenever I'm hit up for my recommendation on exogenous ketones, I generally recommend Perfect Keto ones, just because they are relatively inexpensive.
Also, she doesn't like the flavor of any of them.
Hey, Ready Set Keto is on.
Yay! We've been watching your videos.
I have been watching your videos.
Hi, glad you're here. So, yes, Perfect Keto we like. She specifically likes the one that they discontinued.
Of course.
But
was it the peach flavored one?
She liked the salted caramel, and they discontinued that. So she has a peach, and then she has a strawberry that she likes too. But she tends to mix it with some other flavored, like.
That's true.
She used to mix it with Zip Fizz, but caffeine makes her shake. So.
Yep. Those are kind of heavy values.
She only
too.
kind of mixes it with Zipfit. Sometimes we've been putting really light actually in it.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's kind of a weird flavor, but she likes it with relight.
But Ray Sekio says we've never tested our ketones. Our thinking is we just don't eat carbs. Then we have to be in ketosis, which is absolutely correct.
No carbs here.
Nope. Yep.
Perfect.
Karen says, good night, I'll see you next time. Exchange says,
night,
yeah, I've never
Karen.
tested
Sleep
ketones
tight.
either. Keto way of life, 4 years. So the one really good application I can see for testing ketones, we were a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about debug logs in computer stuff.
Nerd.
Now it's time for computer talk. Having something you can refer to see if what you're doing is working can be a good thing to do. So if you are experimenting, and that could also be a reason to have a continuous glucose meter stuck on your left arm.
Yeah.
There's Miriam's thing, because she can't get her phone to work with it.
88.
Hey, it came back down. She had some fruit with her waffles.
Yeah.
So having a ketone meter, if you're testing out new keto products that you've never tested before, that can work really well. Or you can stick to eating a lot of meat. Exposing Darkness says, yes, I've noticed that some keto groups are way off. Yeah, that's true.
My favorite thing to do with the CGM is to test it when I'm having feelings.
Oh.
Excited,
or you haven't
sad,
haven't even eaten for the day.
I totally tested it after we had that little scuffle today at work. We were like,
it wasn't so much a scuffle.
No. When we fight, it's like this little tiny thing, but it still made my glucose go up.
My brow gets very furrowed.
And I'm like, you don't have to be upset about this. We disagree because we don't like this problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Joe Ray says, well, actually, Kathy says, hello, everyone. Let's see. Takura Zakio says, let's be honest, all exogenous ketones taste bad, and ketone esters taste even worse.
They do.
I've never tried ketone esters.
I don't remember if we
actually
honest, tried it.
I have never used exogenous ketones.
Oh, yeah.
Once.
I've tried them.
I've never tried them.
But I haven't noticed really a difference.
Never even tasted them. Carrie says, no carbs for me either. There you go. Kat says, thank you guys. Jory says, I tried exogenous ketones years ago. They always made me feel nauseated.
Yeah.
Looks like Jerry's out. Have a good night. Off to drink some Keto Chow magnesium. There you go.
I hope it helps.
Betsy says, Miriam, was that a freestyle? I have a script for that.
Yep.
That was the Freestyle Libre 14 day.
This is that one, and then I have it right here.
For whatever reason, it doesn't want to work.
It doesn't want to talk to my phone.
With the OnePlus 7T Pro.
Because you need
There's
to get
even
me
a
new
review
phone.
of the...
A new phone that's cute and pink.
No. There's even a review of the app on the App Store that says, this doesn't work with my OnePlus 7T Pro. I was like, ooh.
Surprise!
And I actually had to hide it from Magisk, from the rooting program, for it to even be able to launch. But now it will launch, but it will not read the thing.
Yeah,
it
just turns off.
It just crashes.
It's fine. I've just been carrying it around with me because I just barely put it on. Also, I think it's off, but it's an old prescription. But I have a new prescription I just got from my doctor.
It seems to be low, like 30.
So
points.
it's quite a bit lower than it should be.
Shauna's
so that 88 looks good, but I think it's more like 100.
Shauna's going to go working
Good
early
night,
tomorrow.
Shauna.
Reza Kio says, yeah, I feel like if I started testing ketones, I might start pushing the limits to see how far I can go with treats while still staying in ketosis.
I think so too.
I am a recovering carb addict.
I am
Hello, my
still
name is
a carb
Chris,
addict,
and I am still a
I
recovering
need
carb addict.
be good. And I don't eat carbohydrates very much.
Yep. Cheryl's taken off too.
Good night, Cheryl. Sleep
Betsy
tight.
says, but do I have to pay for both? Are you talking about the reader? The only reason why we have the
it comes
reader...
with it.
Well, no, it doesn't.
It came with it somehow.
So depending on your insurance, you may have to pay for the reader, or most people can just use their phone.
Yeah, just not me.
So it's 8:14. So for a lot of people, you can just use your phone. With the Freestyle Libre 2, I don't remember if that one has an app. I think it does. And the FDA just approved the Freestyle Libre 3, which they show a stack of 2 pennies next to. So anyway.
Oh, so it's thinner?
Yeah, it's a lot smaller.
So you won't run into the walls as much?
But it's approved by the FDA, but it is not yet
released
available in the United States.
Oh, okay.
And then one thing I really am interested in, gluten and meat and I don't mix.
Gluten and I don't mix.
Yeah, that's Miriam's shirt. Joe Ray wanted to know that. The Dr. Boz, when we were on the low carb cruise, was talking about if you can go to these certain websites and buy a Dexcom 5, I think without a prescription.
A refurb one.
And it's a refurb, which means it's not legal to be used for the treatment of diabetes, but it
but you can use it for experimentation purposes.
be used for clinical or for research. Research. Even if it's N equals 1, I'm testing it myself.
So you can do that.
Yep. Betsy says I have 2 separate scripts. And Betsy, please check on the Freestyle Libre site because they do have a payment assistance program.
Yeah.
They basically, there's a maximum you should ever have to pay for a Freestyle Libre, even if you don't have insurance.
Yeah, so double check that.
Yeah. Too Crazy Keto says, now if you switch to an iPhone, it would work.
It probably would. Also, my Uller would work better.
I actually don't know if the Freestyle Libre 2 or 14-day works with an iPhone because the iPhone restricts the NFC reader to Apple Pay, at least in previous iterations of iOS. I don't know. Dennis says, since the CGM carbohydrates dosing records on the Freestyle Libre are wasted on me, I've created a very nerdy concept. I code my feelings of hunger, growling stomach, and every little ache and pain. Oh, there you go.
Yep.
And Rachel says, Joe, timeout. What's that? Oh, it's you're getting a phone call. Well, we're going to go anyway. It's time for us to be saying goodnight. So you all have a fantastic day, and we will catch you later, okay? Bye.